United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, a nation, under God, indivisible. Okay, first up, the approval of the meeting minutes for September. There just a few of us on. I'm going to make a motion to approve those meeting minutes.
Second.
Thank you, Rod. Motion has been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say right. Any abstentions? Okay. Moving right along to our first briefing item. We have Joe Schmidt from Clerk Schaefer here to talk about the internal audit around safety. Welcome, Joe.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Good to be with you once again. Yeah, so this month's topic, this month's audit was safety and security, and we finished that audit early in September. And I actually have here with me Charlie McNamee. He's the auditor who was on the project, and he's going to go through and walk you through the report. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. We're both here to answer any questions we can.
All right, well, great. Thank you all for having us this morning. It's good to be here for my first time. Just to kind of briefly touch over the scope of our project that we did. Mainly the key areas that we were covering within this audit are the safety and security policies and procedures, the program safety, security, and emergency management plans, the roles and responsibilities of the staff within safety and security, and then the general training of SORTA staff. For this audit, we mainly worked in conjunction with TJ Thorne and Mike Weil. And moving down to the methodology for our audit, that will be page 6 on the audit report. Our main process of conducting this audit, our first step is conducting internal walkthroughs with the key SORTA staff to get a better idea of what controls are within the safety and security team. We then reviewed safety and security policies and procedures to verify the completeness and adequacy of these procedures. And then we reviewed additional documentation of different trainings and tabletop exercises that are performed, not only within SORTA, but SORTA in conjunction with police, fire, and emergency medical. So we reviewed those training.
Unmuted.
Throughout our audit, we did come up with one finding. That is the final page on this audit report. The finding related to the access to the Bond Hill garage. I went to do a review of the security cameras with Joe Billings, and upon arrival, I was able to go to the back employee entrance, and Joe let me know, just ring the doorbell and I'll come out and get you. I rang the doorbell. There was no answer, and I was able to open the door due to a faulty latch with that door. When this finding was reported to Mike Weil, it was corrected that same day. The main risk here is that if there is an adverse person who wants to gain access to the facility, if that door or if the physical security is not working, someone could come in and have pretty much free roam that specific facility at Bond Hill. Outside of that, we had no additional findings, and if there's anyone who has any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
All right. Well,
Pretty straightforward, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I think what we see is that, the safety and security, that, with us coming in, kicking the tires, auditing and looking at everything, to have this one finding is a great example of how good that department is doing. And congratulations for that. For doing such a good job. And thanks for helping us out with going through that audit.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. We'll talk to you all soon, I'm sure.
Yes, thank you. Really appreciate it.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Have a good day.
You too.
Okay, up next, we're going to go through the financial reports for the month of September. Michelle.
Great, thank you, Heidi. To start off, we'll start off with a little bit of good news. For the month of September, we had 19 new buses that were added to revenue service. These were the buses that came in throughout the summer, and now 19 of them are in full revenue service. On October 1st, the Hamilton County sales tax began, and on October 2nd, the city earnings tax ended. So at the next committee meeting in November, you will see the new accrual for the county sales tax receipts in the financials. The North Side Transit Center opened on October 6th on time and under budget. Some of our challenges that we face going ahead is that our advertising revenue will continue to be unfavorable due to the impact of COVID. And this is specifically on the bench and shelter advertising contract. Uncertainty around CPS, we've had starts and delays. As of right now, the high school is scheduled to return in classrooms starting next week. This week, K through 8 started back already. So we'll continue to be responsive to whatever CPS needs as far as if they make any changes to their scheduling due to any outbreaks of COVID in the facilities. Investment income is expected to remain unfavorable due to lower than anticipated interest rates as a direct result of the pandemic as well. So moving on to look specifically at the financials for the month ending September 2020. The total revenue of $7.7 million was unfavorable to budget by $450,000 or 5.5%. Total expenses of $8.2 million was favorable to budget by $429,000 or 5%. Deficit for the month before using the CARES funds to balance was $442,000. Funds from the CARES Act of $442,000 were used to balance the operating results in September, and the total operating results before balancing with available funds were unfavorable by $21,000 or 5% for the month and unfavorable $4,058,000 year to date. Some of the most significant factors driving the results for September was fare revenue, unfavorable to budget by $684,000 or 46.5%. Metro fare revenue was unfavorable to budget by $633,000 as a result of a 42% fixed route ridership decline directly related to COVID-19. Non-transportation revenue was unfavorable to budget by $108,000 or 55%, primarily due to investment income and advertising income. CPS contract revenue was unfavorable to budget by $850,000 or 100% due to the delay of in-classroom learning by CPS. Other contract revenue was unfavorable to budget by $64,000 or 37%, primarily due to the Butler County route not running due to low ridership. The transit fund was favorable to budget by $1,328,000 or 32% as a result of the change with the city funding request for the start of their fiscal year, which began in July. Employee wages and benefits were favorable by $224,000 or 3%, primarily due to the lower operator wages as a result of reduced hours directly tied to the delay in classroom learning by CPS. Those are the financials for September 2020. The hedging update. I know we provide our quarterly report, and that will be at next meeting, but as an update, given that we were in and out of policy over the last several months due to COVID. The current update is preliminary results as of September 30th. Our 0 to 24-month hedging is within policy. Policy limit is 90%. We are at 89% hedged. 25 to 36 months, our policy limit is 50%, and we are currently at 25% hedged. Any questions on the financials for September?
On the hedging, is that leading us to be declining in costs year on year? Or?
Yes.
How many of our buses support CPS?
in the morning, the peak vehicle add is approximately 85 to 90 buses.
Thank you, John.
Michelle, you mentioned the city calendar year. Do you know what does the county function on, and how, as we're moving to this new funding stream, how will that impact the financials?
Great question, Heidi. So the county currently runs on the same calendar fiscal year that we do, January 1 through December 31st. And the funds do not flow through the county as they did through the city. The funds flow directly from the state of Ohio. As the tax receipts are collected, they flow to the state, and then the state funds us directly. We do not request those funds from the county as we currently did for the city.
Fantastic.
And those receipts start to in January.
Is it the same process where we are requesting the funding, or is it automatically routed our way?
It's automatically routed our way.
Makes life a little bit easier.
Yes, it does.
Awesome. Any other questions around the financial reports? Okay. Moving on to our first action item, which is the investment of funds report for September.
Thank you, Heidi. As of September 30th, SORTA's cash and investment balance was $53,201,657, yielding a return of 0.21% and average days to maturity of 8 days. Majority of our investment funds are now being held in STAR, Ohio. In the current low interest rate environment, STAR is yielding higher rate than other permitted investment options such as commercial paper, CDs, treasuries, etc. In the month of September, we did have an opportunity to add a few investments in commercial paper to pick up some additional yield. The investment income for the month of September was $11,540 and $158,601 year to date. The increase in cash from August to September of $13,699,873 was due mostly to the receipt of our annual 5307 funds. Are there any questions on the investment of funds report? Thank you.
Great. And we need to voice vote that, correct, Chanel?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So I would like to make a motion to approve the investment of funds report for September 30th.
Second.
Great. Thank you. Now that's been properly seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say right. Any abstentions? Great. And then last but certainly not least, we have a proposed resolution for the approval of the 2021 healthcare plan. Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning, everyone.
Nice to see you.
We're going to go over and review the healthcare plan, give you some updates from 2019 and 2020 and a recommendation for 2021. And actually, Sherry Schultz, who's the Benefits and Compensation Manager, is going to do the review this morning. Sherry? Sherry, you're muted.
How's that? Is that better?
You have a little bit of an echo. You may have both your computer audio and a phone on, possibly. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else is getting an echo.
How's that? Is that better? Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry about that. Our agenda this morning is the 2019-2020 update. What we'll be looking at is the 2019 performance, 2020 projection, and then also we'll be looking at our return on investment with EMS, which is Enrollment Management Services. Going ahead to next year, we'll be looking at the renewal overview, 2021 projection, our cost summary, stop-loss renewal, medical recommendation, dental recommendation, and then we'll be looking at the rest of the year, our healthcare calendar. 2019-2020 program update. First, we'll look at a brief synopsis synopsis of the 2019 year and how it ended up. It ended up very well at 97.4% of budget, which gave us a surplus of $283,000 or 2.6% of the total planned budget. We attribute that to our incentives that we currently have and have continued on to 2020 and 2021. Those four incentives we have are enrollment management services, nicotine-free policy, and our wellness program, which is biometric screening and our annual preventive physicals. 2020 medical projection versus budget. Humana, the 2020 budget, 12.6. Humana 2020 projection is 12.5. And that's coming in lower, and we feel that that's due to a lot of people who delayed medical services due to the pandemic. And as always, we don't really close out the year until about the third quarter of the following year. So we'll be closing out the 2020 year in third quarter 2021. Moving on, as you'll recall, we've contracted with a third party to assist us with helping other employees secure medical insurance. And what we do there, we have enrollment management services, and they work with the employee to help them secure other medical benefits. A prime example of this would be Medicare. We have several employees over 65, and those people are eligible for Medicare, and in some cases, it can benefit them greatly going with Medicare. How we do that, we meet with them several times. We meet with the new employees, obviously, at orientation. We also follow up with employees at termination, referrals from HR, meaning we have people call in here with questions that we actually refer to enrollment management services, and also we use census data. Since the inception of the plan in August 2020, the estimated claims that we've saved is $1.6 million. Annual fee for EMS is $80,000. The opt-out payments, these are the payments that we give to employees each month, about $40,000, which is net savings to Metro 1.1 or a return on investment of approximately $245,000. Looking ahead at the 2021 program. 2021 renewal for Humana. We did not go to market for 2021. We have hope to recommend that we stay with Humana. We will have the same plans, the PPO and the high deductible health plan. Fortunately, we were able to negotiate with Humana that resulted in an administrative hold rate. So that saved us quite a bit of money there. And we were also able to secure the continued secure of pharmacy rebates and pharmacy discounts. Total administration costs for Humana will be around $387,000. Looking at the 2021 medical projection, the 2020 budget, again 12.6. 2020 projection coming in lower because of pandemic, 12.5, and the 2021 budget going forward is 13.3. Projected medical cost increase budget to budget 2020 to 2021 is 5.1. 5.8 increase overall is based on stop-loss renewal, and I'll touch on that shortly, and the claims projection. We have had several high claimants this year that are attributing to the higher projection for next year, but we have had a decrease in our enrollment for medical coverage. Total cost summary, looking at 2020 compared to 2021 going forward, the administration for Humana will go up $3,000. That's because we are going with a new stop-loss carrier. Stop-loss, we were able to secure a reduction of approximately $40,000 in our stop-loss renewal for next year, and we're contracted with SA Benefits. Also, the aggregate stop-loss is down as well, going with SA Benefits of $34,000. Claims projections 12.2. There are ACA fees that we will have to pay going forward in 2021 of $4,000, so we're looking at a total of about 13.3, or a change from 2020 of 5.8. We are very pleased with this. The trend, I don't know if people know, it's approximately 7.8%. So we're doing very well compared to trend. As I stated before, the overall increased 2020 projection versus 2021 budget is 5.8, and the 2020 budget to the 2021 budget is 5.1. Our recommendations are to keep our medical benefits with Humana. Going back and looking at last year, or this year, 2021, 12.6 was our cost. Humana Sun Life projection again, 12.5, and going forward, our 2021 is 13.3. We expect cost to be affected by, obviously, employee impact, maximum projected cost, and our high claimants. However, we are recommending that we do stay with Humana due to the administration and the network that they provide, and also we move to SA Benefits. SA Benefits is a new stop-loss carrier that we will have based on recommendation, and it will save us approximately $40,000 over Sun Life, what we had negotiated with them for the upcoming year. Pacific stop-loss, SA Benefits, 6% projected decrease, $40,000. Going forward to 2021, there are no lasers included, which are very good, and then also they have the 50% cap for 2021. Dental, final 2021 projected dental costs are coming in about $390,000. Increase to 2020 projection is 3.2. Now, as you're aware, we currently have two dental plans. We have the BVN plan, which is more of a reduced plan, but it does provide orthodontia, and then we have a PPO plan. However, our enrollment in the dental has been reduced due to our access population did not enroll at the rate we thought it would. However, we are recommending staying with Dental Care Plus going into 2021. Healthcare calendar, October 1st through the 21st, we have flu shots, which has been a very good turnout this year. October 28th through November 11th, biometric screening. We do have a new vendor, Health Check 360, that we'll be working with this year. October 20th, obviously the board meeting. November 9th through the 23rd, we again will offer a passive enrollment. Passive enrollment means that you do not have to do anything. Your medical, your dental, your vision automatically roll over. However, if you are interested in enrolling again in 2021 in FSA, you would have to enroll again. So that's something that is required by the federal government. December 18th is when we have the requirement back to have our preventive physical deadlines. And then January 1st, the new plan year begins. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Any questions? Go back 2 slides. And our claims were down, you said last year, or we had a high claimant?
We had several high-cost claimants that we incurred last year. Not just one, but unfortunately there were a few.
My final questions, how did you, because I missed this, I don't know, the ROI for EMS, how did you guys measure that?
Go back to that slide for us. So we look at what we saved in terms of potential claims, what we saved for the individuals who have opted out, and then we look at our expenses. As Sherry said, the fee we pay EMS versus the opt-out payments we pay the employees, and then what the net savings is.
You all mentioned that you think part of people kind of deferring medical care this year has led to a reduction in cost. Has there been any discussion about what the impact of COVID after the pandemic is over for medical? Do you expect an increase in medical costs or any sense of that? I know it's still early, but just curious.
Well, we haven't had a true sense of that in talking with our broker, and in talking with some of the other plans and other employers that are out there. Nobody knows for sure what's going to happen. It could end up that we go into 2021 before people start picking up on going back to the doctor a lot, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of speculation out there, so
Yeah.
See what
I agree.
impact is. Good thing we have our medical reserve fund.
Yes. Any other questions?
Does the surplus that we're realizing, does that go to the medical reserve fund?
Yes. Any surplus that we have goes to medical reserve to try to get us to 16%. I'm not sure where we are, Michelle. I don't know where we're at right now.
We moved from 2018 to 1.1 million since we trued it up in 2019, at the end of the year 2019. So we will do that same true up process. As Jerry mentioned, those final claims don't come through till the end of the third quarter. So we'll do that true up process again for 2019 claims at the end of this year. And any excess will get moved over to the reserve fund until we reach that 16%.
Sounds good. Board members, any additional questions? Okay. I would like to make a motion to pass the proposed resolution for the approval of the 2021 healthcare plan.
Second.
Thank you, Rod. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed say right. Any abstentions? Okay. Chanel, let's put that on the consent agenda for next week. Okay. And there are not. Are you saying something? No. If there aren't any other items, we'll adjourn this and turn it over to planning and operations. Thanks, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Can y'all hear me?
Good morning. Yes, we can hear you.
Good morning.
Okay. We're going to do a rolling start right into this thing. So we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And if you want to find a flag and mute your phone and do the pledge, that'd be great. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. I'm going to keep muting and unmuting my phone because I'm joined by a 4-year-old today, so apologies if you hear some cartoons playing in the background. I'd welcome a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
So moved. Second.
Blake and Pete, thank you both. Moved and seconded. And now all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Great.
Aye.
John is all set. Can y'all hear? John, you all set? You can do good news.
We could skip it and have cartoon time for a little bit.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna mute again.
Man, I tried, everybody. I tried. So yeah, let's share some good news for the Planning and Ops Committee for the month of October. We're hearing great feedback from our customers regarding our new fleet. We've taken some comments here right off of our Facebook post about the new fleet. And anytime anybody asks you what it's like riding a bus, it is stealthy, directly from our customers. So that's the new look and feel, the word of the day regarding the fleet. You can see some of the great comments here, but maybe most importantly, taking the time to say, this is great, but they can't wait to see what the future holds for Metro. They echo all of our sentiments here as we look forward to 2021 and all the great plans that we're set to unveil. I'd also like to shine a bright spotlight on our safety and security team. The American Public Transportation Association gives out annual awards for excellence in a number of aspects regarding public transit. In this case, our team now for the fourth time, we're four-time winners among transit systems of our size for the top honor regarding security excellence. So congratulations to TJ Thorne, Mike Weil, Kim Gaffey, Keith Groman. Congratulations, gentlemen, and thank you very much. To spotlight a few of their award-winning measures, we still have the customer-facing monitors with live video feed on board our buses, reminding everybody this is a secure location, your actions are being recorded. We believe this has a great impact on the environment and a secure environment on board the coaches. We also conduct de-escalation training for our operators, and that is a training session pictured there. That's not an actual shot. And a good thing for Mike Wild, he can try to be tough there with operator Darlene Alexander. But Darlene, she's as good as it gets. She knows how to take care of her customers, knows how to operate her coach safely and securely. I'm sure she's feeling good these days with the Lakers winning their 17th NBA title. You won't meet a bigger Laker fan. So thank you, Mike and Darlene, for participating in those exercises. And we're also thankful and like to spotlight our partnerships with area first responders. We do a number of training exercises, joint exercises throughout the year, disaster planning scenarios, always trying to stay multiple steps ahead in terms of anticipating what can happen and having systems and procedures in place come what may. So thank you to all of our area first responder partners. We also continue to celebrate the grand opening of the Northside Transit Center. And for that community, the future is now. The future is here, and you're getting a glimpse here of this shot, but also the event itself, of what transit can do, being part of revitalization of a neighborhood, of a community. There are so many folks to thank for making this come to fruition. I'd also like to thank our marketing team for pulling off a grand opening in virtual style. Very difficult to do, but if you had a chance to either attend or watch the live video feed, including live music at a transit center, pretty cool shot there, pretty cool spot. So thank you for everybody that helped that happen. And also to the guests that we had there, esteemed guests, many speakers, including Mayor John Cranley. Thank you as well to the area artists, whose creativity will be part of the Northside Transit Center landscape. Fun and excitement was had by all. Certainly, if you get a chance to interact with Daryl and his enthusiasm for what we're doing now, what we're going to do in terms of transportation in this region, fun and excitement captures it best, no doubt. But we couldn't finish celebrating Northside without also celebrating and thanking our Vice President of Strategic Planning and Development, Halet Shamoud. Halet, thank you very much for your tireless efforts, long hours, dedication to the project, dedication to the Metro customers, the Metro system, and the Northside community. So any congratulations and thank yous for Halet, certainly well deserved. That is the news for October.
If I may just respond to that, thank you very much for that nice note. But I would also like to emphasize that it took the entire agency, it was a team effort, it took the entire agency to get that project done, in addition to the Northside community and others as well. But thank you very much, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir, thank you.
And I'd like to add one thing as well, along with bike racks TVMs, real-time signs. The Northside Transit District also has Metro's first electric vehicle charging stations in our parking route as well. So we're excited about that.
All right, great job, team. I'm excited to see the Northside Transit Center. I saw the pictures of it. I wish we could have all been together, but understand that the pandemic has us all doing things a little differently. But I was glad you did all of the things that you did to make it virtual. We're going to go to Matt next, who's going to tell us how ridership is going.
Good morning. I just have a couple slides for you on the month of September. As always, we'll begin with our fixed route service. Total ridership for the month of September was 540,459 rides. That's about 53% less than original projections, but it is up about 25,000 rides from the month of August. So if you look at the chart up there, we're actually headed the right direction. It's important to note that we did not have any Metro extra service operated in the month of September. It was mentioned in the finance committee meeting previously, but CPS has adopted a remote plan for the first 6 or so weeks of the school year. We actually started operating extra service today. Today's the first day that they're phasing in some of their students back in school. So keep that in mind as you look at these numbers. Local ridership for September was 527,000. Express was 13,663. And year-to-date ridership is coming up on 5.8 million. That's about 39% lower than our original forecast. And moving on, we have a couple KPIs for you this month. Passengers per hour on local service was 9.7. That's 11 below our budget of 20.7. Passengers per trip on express service was 2.6. 16.2 below our KPI of 16.2. Average weekday ridership was 21,253. Saturdays close to 13,000 and Sundays just about 8,500. And again, keep in mind the original forecast did include extra service ridership for the month of September. CPS ridership generally is right around 8,000 to 10,000 rides per day, pre-COVID levels. All right, and moving on to access ridership. Total ridership for access the month of September was 7,577. That's about 61.5% lower than originally forecasted. 7,000 of those trips took place on weekdays, and Saturdays and Sundays were fairly evenly split, right around 300 trips each. And year-to-date, total ridership for access is 79,083 rides. That's 54.6% lower than originally forecasted. And that is the ridership briefing item for this month. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
It looks like the increase in the return to riding has slowed some. Is this driven by downtown jobs? Do you have any insight into? I mean, is it just general pandemic? I'm not going to ride a bus, or what are you seeing here?
Especially our local routes is where we're seeing the most increase. Generally, our express ridership has remained pretty stagnant. It's about the same as it's remained pretty level over the last few months. So I would say it's definitely driven by a lot of folks working from home.
It would be interesting to look at this. I don't think you can, correct me if I'm wrong, but this should include, so you've got the two green dots or green crosses of that's where school service should be. If we had guaranteed school service, I assume this would be the blue line would be a little higher, the blue bars would be a little higher, and we would be getting closer to, or am I wrong about that?
You're right. Go ahead, Daryl. Sorry. No, that's all right. You're correct, Brent.
It might be interesting to show this chart, at least maybe when we get to the board meeting next week, just so that everyone can see really clearly the impact of not having CPS, of what that ridership would look like. And maybe you could even show that with some sort of, general shaded, a new color there, so that we would be able to see how close we are back to what we should be on KPI. Because the CPS contract we can't really control at this point. Everything else we can't control. So it's worth trying to find ways to show the things that we can control and the things that we have most impact on.
Absolutely.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Matt. Any other questions on ridership? Okay, super. We're going to go to Brandy, who has an action item on PR services. And just FYI, I think the procurement summary on this was the procurement summary for item number 5, at least in my board book. So I don't know if you're able to show the procurement summary for this when you go through the presentation, but it doesn't work. Yeah, see, that one's for the uniform contract. So we're not able to see right now the procurement summary for this. So.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm here today to request the approval from the SORTA board for the Strategic Public Relations Contract, which will help support the implementation of our organizational objectives. Following staff review of the proposals received, the evaluation committee has selected for recommendation via communication as the proposal that will be most advantageous to SORTA. And factors that were evaluated included price, experience, as well as the fact that they subcontract with 2 minority-owned and women-owned businesses for strategic services as well as community engagement. The contract is for 2 years with a 1-year option at a total cost not to exceed $585,000.
So we only had 2 apply for this?
Yes, there were only 2 proceed.
That was going to be my question. We only had 2. And who are the 2 minority contractors?
They worked with Crystal Kendrick's organization, which is the Voice of Your Customer, and Carla Walker, and I'm drawing a blank on the name of her, Think Big Strategies.
Yeah, right.
And again, we made calls to vendors that we had expected to quote to ask why they were not quoting this year, and the overwhelming response we're getting to people is because of COVID. This year they're having a real difficulty handling the contracts they have now, so they're actually not bidding on new contracts. Overwhelmingly, that's the response we're getting from people when we make those calls to ask why they have not bid.
Seems counterintuitive. With everybody's business being down, you would think that a contract like this might be something that people would be interested in. Obviously, we've had great experience working with Beer and Communications throughout the last several years. Just out of curiosity, who was the other applicant?
I don't have it on my sheet, and I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on their name. They are a organization that was out of Cleveland, but I will follow up with you on that name.
Okay, got it.
Can I ask a question? Out of curiosity, what precipitated or had Nick thought about using subcontractors for his company for this project? He's been with us a long time. I'm just wondering, is the environment we're in, or is that his business plan? You know, what triggered it, or was it staff conversations?
Well, Veer has worked with the subcontractors and a few others for a number of years. If you may recall, a few years ago when we were doing the Reinventing Metro Community Engagement meetings, we used the help of Carla Walker and Clyde Gray for their businesses to moderate those panels and to do some other community engagement. So he does have a history of working with these subcontractors for a number of years.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I see that he will hire, you know, it says that his participation by DMS firms is that he'll hire, you know, folks who do street teams and qualitative research. I assume we won't just do that to do it. We'll do that as part of the organization's plan that you are developing with your internal resources that are working on the Reinventing Metro plan. I want to make sure that we're not totally outsourcing that when you have such good talent internally.
Absolutely.
Hey, Brandy. The
Yes.
other part was visibility marketing.
Thank you. I was going to dig through my emails. Thank you for that, Adrian.
Thank you, Adrian. Okay, thanks for scrolling through this. I see what the cost is. Daryl, you and I have talked about these in the past. This does not necessarily mean that you spend all that. Is that right?
That is correct.
Do you know what
This is an up-to contract, and we will only spend when necessary.
And what was our actual last year?
Brandy, do you have that?
We are still in the current contract year through the end of the year. I can get back with you on where we are. We get billed each month, so I don't have the latest one in front of me. And we are, as I mentioned, we're through the contract until December, but I can follow up with you as to where we are.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm just curious as to what I mean. I know why we bill up to a certain amount because that's kind of the most that we would need to do. But as I understand it, we're not getting close to that at this point, and so I think that's also important for the group to know. Okay, I'm ready to move on. Are there any other questions for the group from the group?
And rolling out Reinventing Metro, we'll have a lot of activity going on in the next couple of years. It's going to be real exciting.
Blake, I see your camera popped on. You got something for us? Okay. Yeah, I agree. The rollout of Reinventing Metro is really critical. It's critical twofold. One, because we're introducing new services to people and we want them to know about it. And two, we're going to be coming out of a hole with where we are when it comes to COVID. So I'm glad that you have a team of people internally. I know you guys have made some hires and have really increase the expertise of folks who know how to engage in the community, and that's a critical part of all of this too. So I will move approval and welcome a second.
So moved.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All, do I do just an all those in favor here?
Yes, that is correct. You just want to move it to the full board.
Okay, I'm going to move it to the full board. All those in favor, let's say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same right. Okay.
I want to thank the staff. I thought that excellent presentation.
Yep, thank you, Brandy. We'll put that on the consent agenda. All right, next is David. I think David Braun with a operations uniform personnel contract.
Hello, everyone. Today I'm seeking your approval for an extension of contract. The reason is, when I first started here about 2 months ago, I recognized that the uniforms were anything but uniform. Our drivers wear a variety of things from light blue shirts and dark blue pants, dark blue shirts and dark blue pants. And we're really looking to improve the appearance of our operators. So after speaking to Daryl and John, we felt that this is an important strategy to move forward, especially during labor negotiations and that sort of thing, since a uniform allowance is part of labor negotiation. It's going to take a little time. I've established a committee that was recommended by our local managers here at both garages. And really discussing what's good about the uniform, what's not good about the uniform. They have some comfort issues because their current uniform is kind of a police pants that really wasn't designed for sitting all day. And we're actually seeking some vendor input as well in terms of the types of uniforms that they can offer. So what we're doing with this motion or this recommendation is to seek just extension with our current uniform providers, and that'll allow the operators who have some uniform allowance remaining or require their uniform to purchase uniforms next year to still be able to purchase those uniforms and still meet our uniform requirements. I anticipate that our uniform committee will make a recommendation to the executive team and then I assume eventually the board in November or December, and then we'll put it out for RFP and we'll be ready to award that RFP towards second quarter of 2021. So what we're doing is we're seeking a 6-month extension. It's not to exceed $135,000. There's also $70,000 that has already been approved and moved forward in access funding. Has increased significantly to a total dollar amount of $812. Just looking at the rest of it, I think it's fairly straightforward. Again, it's just an extension. It's a cost not to exceed. I don't anticipate that the operators will spend a lot of dollars in the first 6 months, but we just based on the trending from 2018 and 2019, they typically spend around 60% of their uniform allowance during those 6 months, and I reflect that in the extension request.
Great update, thank you. Any questions from the group? Okay, hearing none, I will move approval for this to be on the consent agenda in a second.
Second.
Thank you, Blake. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same right. Alrighty, that goes on the consent agenda. Pat Giblin is next with Ranger Mobile Data Terminals for access vehicles.
Good morning. Those sound cool. I'm here to present an action item for approval of the purchase of Ranger Mobile Data Terminals for our access. I seek a resolution authorizing the CEO to execute a contract with Preppy Software Group on behalf of SORTA at a cost not to exceed $190,856. This will be to retrofit a few, but mostly replace our mobile data terminals in our access fleet. Mobile data terminals provide our turn-by-turn directions and the manifest information to the drivers on the buses. This expenditure will be funded with a combination of OTD2, the Ohio Transit money that we've received, and local funds. We need to replace the hardware due to both end of useful life. We have some that are new enough to retrofit, but these data terminals are limited to 3G, which, if you kind of listen to all the cellular commercials, is being phased out by all major carriers. We couldn't even use our typical carrier when we converted over from MB to run these. We had to transfer the accounts over because most carriers wouldn't activate 3G communications, 3G cellular, as new activations. It's a sole source, and due to the proprietary nature of the trapeze environment, and that's all I've got.
Fairly straightforward. Any questions from Pat?
Who's doing the installation of the NDTs?
We will. They're very straightforward. It's not a complicated install.
And this includes all the wiring and everything?
We won't have to rewire. It'll just be replaced. We've got the connectivity in there. It'll just be the mobile data terminals.
And where's the data coming from? Separate deal, or is Trapeze covering the data?
No. So are you talking about the cellular plant? Currently, we use Sprint, and we will probably work on rolling those into our existing Verizon agreement. We had to transfer over the Sprint SIMs from and connectivity from MB in those existing accounts because we could not get new activations on 3G from Verizon.
And will these NDTs last a long time in terms of connectivity?
Are they 4G? Just 4G?
Yeah, they're just going to be, they're 4G LTE. They're not, we won't be activating on 5G. 5G is not broadly available. As to their ability to extend and be retrofitted to support 5G, I don't have that information off the top of my head. But 4G LTE will be around for quite some time. I don't foresee technology in general on a bus outliving the usable life of a bus. So,
we're good. Okay.
Do I think they'll ultimately be retrofitted or replaced before the buses are? That's one of the things as a general principle we're working towards across both our access and fixed route fleet, because we've become very limited when we think a 12 to 15-year-old bus will never require some technology refreshes.
Last question. The price per MDT, you're confident that's a good deal?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Blake. Appreciate having your knowledge here. All right, I'll move this to the consent agenda of the full board and welcome a second.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same right. All right, great. I don't think we have anything else on the agenda. I know that Craig and the SORTA team has been working on the infrastructure protocols and processes with Daryl, and that we should have this information to you soon, which is great. Hopefully everyone got your note from the Board of County Commissioners and the Mayor about the board transition. I really want to say thank you to the County Commissioners and to the City of Cincinnati for working through that, and I think they've established a really good process and a really good goal going forward. You can do questions about that at the board meeting, but appreciate everyone's participation in that effort. Any other questions for the good of the order today? And we'll adjourn and hope everyone has a great Tuesday. Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.